Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Arjun Kamal streaming live from Long Island, New York, and Westchester, New York. And we are chatting about our winning day. Yes, indeed, the second winning day in a row on Wall Street. And we're all taking a bit of time to rejoice because we've been well beaten down for the first couple of months of the year. So we're coming back. We're coming back strong. On an earlier show this week, I said we're one headline away from a huge rally. We still did not get the headline I'm looking for, by the way.
Which is great actually. So we're still
Yeah,
looking for that big bang.
yeah, it is great. So if we get the headline I'm looking for, I'm convinced we're going to start to make new highs within months, easily within months. That headline, of course, is that we settle the war in Ukraine. That's key. No, I did not sell AUPH. I did not sell any of my AUPH. Indubitably, one of the longest names I've ever seen. Yeah, so I was telling Kamal that I usually don't sell all my stock, I don't usually close a position in its entirety, just like I don't go into a position in its entirety. I average in and I average out, or at least I sell in piecemeal. Usually I have a target, I'll sell about a sixth or a tenth or a 20 or a fifth of my position. So like I said, I'm going to take some shares of CTIC off the table at 5 or in the fives. Maybe that'll be 1/6 of what I own, something like that. That's how I usually operate.
Yes. CTIC didn't have the best day today.
We're gonna get bought out on AUPH. We may not get the price we would have gotten if the revenues were better, but I think by the end of the year we'll get bought out. And I think biotech will stabilize and start going up. It has to eventually. It's not going to just continue to go down. Jota, you're absolutely right. On a day when Citibank announced lowering their price target like in half on CRISPR, their new target is 64. Soon they're going to have to raise it because it's already more than 64. It was up about what, $5 today, something like that. CRISPR. Well, we'll take a look at it anyway. But I guess that Citibank call today on $64 price target was a very was negatively bullish or bullishly bearish, or
I would say that was not nice of them.
it was not nice of them, but I think it gave the stock a shot in the arm.
Yeah. Well, the shot in the arm was across the board, basically. Honestly,
Yeah.
some stocks did much better than that.
Well,
Like we
CRISPR,
were talking about the Chinese stocks, they just moved 20%,
yeah,
25%.
well, CRISPR was up 10% today.
Right. That's significant.
Yeah. Yeah, so BCRX has a nice candle turned in today. We'll take a look. It's on my list. Tim, hopeful for Chinese stock rebound. I have a ton of NEO. Well, I hope for your sake it turns it around. It was up sharply today, over 20%, NEO. So we'll take a look at NEO and XFEV today. NTLA was up over 10%, I think.
Yes.
So yeah, NTLA Beam was up sharply. I bought more Beam. You know when? When the Fed first ended their meeting, everything started going down a lot. I saw Beam drop to about 4 points. I grabbed some. And I got it right back by the close. So I added a little bit Beam. I added some Apple. I try to nibble every day lately. As I said, I'm trying to reduce my cash position to 0. So I think I will get there eventually if I keep buying.
I think there's plenty of opportunities and great deals out there still.
Yeah, there are. There are. I mean, stocks, great names in technology that have been severely beaten down.
Right.
I mentioned the other day, Google, Apple, and Amazon. Just buy all three of them. Tremendous buys. Earlier in the week, Monday was better buy than today, of course, but still very good buys. Let's take a look at what we have. S&P up 2.25%. Nice move to 43.57. By the way, Arjun is officially neutral, not bearish anymore. Dow 30 up 518 points, or 1.55% to 34,063. NASDAQ up, look at that, almost 4%.
That's impressive.
487.93. That is what I call a move for
Yes,
for
that's
an index.
impressive.
Russell up 3.14% to 2030. And crude oil 94.97 down $1.47 as it continues to slide, which, as I've been saying every day, is bullish for the market. Of course, the headline is the Fed raises interest rates for the first time since 2018, as expected, 0.25%. His remarks afterwards seemed very benign. I was listening to it until it put me to sleep. Bitcoin, how's Bitcoin do today? Gold is down slightly, silver up slightly. 10-year continues to rise. Look at that. 2.18, the yield on the 10-year. And Bitcoin, where are you? Bitcoin is, it had a good day, up 4%.
Most of the stocks did very well today.
Yeah, 1621.76 to 41,149. Nice move for Bitcoin. All right, so let's see how that translates into some of the stocks we look at almost on a daily basis. Start with the spiders. Take a quick look at them. We were flirting with the double bottom at 410 just a few days ago. Now we're at 435. Incredible move.
Yes. Incredible
move in just a few days. Here we were on Monday with a low of a low of 415, a close of 417. On the previous week, we hit a low of also 415. And here on 224, we bottomed at, it looks like we bottomed now at 410. There's an excellent chance that we bottomed in the spiders. Of course, we can still draw this pennant. You got a sequence. We still have a sequence of lower highs and higher lows. So, which one prevails? Which one will prevail? More or less, right? So you see, I don't remember what day we said we would go out till last time, but about the first week in April, depending how you draw this, these lines, it's going to break out. It almost broke out today. It did get repelled by the lower trend line. Didn't get repelled, but it stopped at it. I'd like to see it take that out tomorrow and march all the way to the 50. The 50-day on the spiders is 443. That's my target, 443. And maybe even tomorrow.
Is that would be the next resistance?
Well, not really. This high would be the next resistance. Let me draw that in. We have to break one of these one of these highs. This high at 441 has to come out, and then we're looking at the 50 probably being, maybe the 200 being resistance. Probably more likely the 200 at this point.
So you said 441. That's like 6. That's.
I'm going to draw this in at 445. So 441 is the first obstacle, 445 the second. That looks about right. And then, of course, we go for the glory. This double top has to come out,
Yes.
come off at 457. But this was a very good sign. We came right up to the downward sloping trend line. It's very possible tomorrow we give some of it back, unfortunately. I see the lower body of today's candle as being possible support or a target even, considering how much we've gone up. So I would say right about here, the high of the day, last, whatever that was, 429.51, say 430. 430 would be support and probably a good entry point. It looks to me like it's likely to pull back before it breaks through. Only because we've had such a phenomenal run the last 2 days. So a little bit off the table tomorrow, followed by a strong Friday. How's that? Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at IWM. That was up 3% or $6, back over 2. We have something similar, but I guess something similar. We have a sequence of lower highs, just like we do in the S&P. And we have, we don't have, I guess we do. We have a similar sequence of higher lows right in here. So you could draw a similar looking pennant for the IWM. And just like the S&P, it might be a give back to tomorrow. It could take us down, let's say, to the body of this candle, the open of the day today. Let's draw a horizontal. So I see the open of the day today at about 198, not roughly, a little lower, 197.5 probably, as being support and possibly a target to hit tomorrow. And then Friday we take out the high from today. That would be very nice. Little pullback tomorrow, followed by rally. That's how I'm calling it. Let's look at CRISPR, which had a beautiful candle. Look at BCRX. CRISPR has had a bunch of beautiful candles, beginning with 224 when it had that big engulfing candle.
Right.
We had another huge day on 3/8. A huge day on 3/8, followed by a little peak here. Remember, I said we're very likely to take this out. I said this yesterday. I think we're likely to take out this high at 64 and change, and we did today. So we took that out. CRISPR looking very good despite the downgrade by Citigroup, or maybe because of the downgrade by Citigroup. Thank you, Citigroup, for being so late to the party that as soon as you downgrade it, it goes up above your target. Thank you very much, Citigroup. That's what happens with the analysts. By the time they get around to the downgrade, it's time to buy it.
Yeah.
They're so behind the curve. It's always been like that. It's not a new phenomenon. They're always behind the curve, both ways.
Do they get embarrassed when they call, like, make these bad calls like that?
No, they just lose their jobs. They don't get embarrassed. They have to become like this book salesman.
I see.
You know how the street operates. You work there.
Yes. Very rough.
You've seen them pack their bags, I'm sure, on more than one occasion.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Let's take a look at a winner for Kamal's winner, best winner of the day, probably. Is this your best winner of the day?
Yes. In fact, yes.
Yeah. Up 36% in one day. I would suspect it's your best winner of the day.
Yep. Yep.
You don't often get days like this on a stock where you're up 36% in one fell swoop. Just because the Chinese said, "Oh, we're just kidding about delisting." Just kidding. I wouldn't trust anything they say for that matter, but yeah, I'm glad it went up for your sake, and hopefully it'll keep going up. I think it has a shot at this point to at least test the 50, and the 50 is up here at about one. Let's take exactly where the 50 is. The 50 is at 115.86. Another 10% up from here, 11%. So I think we at least do that and probably fill this gap. Probably fill this gap. I wouldn't be shocked if we fill this gap at 119. So let me draw this gap fill in. And if we do that, then
I wanted to fill the gap on November 14th. You see that gap there?
Yeah, November. This is a huge gap.
Yeah.
Well, we got to fill one gap at a time, don't we?
Yeah, it makes sense. I agree. I'm not,
Yeah.
Just be patient, I guess.
Yeah, Baba, barring some really bad news, based on this candle alone, you'd have to be very bullish. That isn't to say that you don't get a little pullback tomorrow off of a move like this, but I think support would be right around here.
Well, judging from what we've seen the past, couple of months, Wednesdays tend to be the hump day. Wednesdays tend to be the day that the stocks move up drastically.
Yes, and then we get a yo-yo effect on Thursday.
Right.
In fact, this has been a yo-yo market for a long time. But I said what we need to break this yo-yo market is 3 big up days in a row. We got 2 of them.
One more.
We need one more, one to go. Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a nice day, but it still has failed to take out one of its previous highs. You wanted to take out this high. So let me draw that line in. For a trend change, I want to see a previous high taken out. Before I call a change of trend, I want that high taken out. I want 42,683 taken out. Then I'll feel more bullish. I'm bullish, but I feel more bullish.
I mean, yesterday you were talking about the what is it? The 50-day moving average. 50-day moving average.
The EU scared me because they're talking about banning Bitcoin, and I don't think they could really, but I guess they could do anything, but I don't think they would.
What is that second line you drew?
I don't know. It's a good question. How about up here? Much better line. Okay, so here we have a channel, and ultimately we'd like to break out, well, at least stay in the channel. At least stay in the channel. If we trade in the channel, it's moving up. So that's fine. But there's a couple of key levels that you want to take out. And the first one is at 42,683. That's very key level. And then, of course, you got this triple top up here. Talking about key levels, that would be a very key level. That would be this high, the high on 2.9, which was 45,661. Take that out, we're off to the races. And then you got this double top. I mean, you have a lot of potential targets to knock off, but you got to start one at a time. The first one being, where are we? First one being 42,465.
Yeah.
Something like that. 42,450 is around that area. Where I drew the line. Want to see that taken out for Bitcoin. Okay. BCRX has been under selling pressure by the shorts. The shorts were having a feast on BCRX. But we did turn it around, as somebody noted, I forget who. Its low today was 1443, and it certainly looks like we found the bottom as it closed at 1552. So we actually closed up on the day, 2%, which is not as good as the kind of moves we've seen in some of the other stocks, but considering where it was, we'll take it. It found support at the 100-day, 1445. Found perfectly good support there. Stopped at the 100, just tested the 100 and bounced off of it. Very nice finish for BCRX. And I mean, there was no reason really for it to sell off like that other than shorts feasting. Shorts feasting.
Well, some insider guys sold some shares.
Yeah, but what else is new when it comes to bio or anything else? Like you said, it's not a big deal. There's always going to be some insider selling, as long as it isn't massive. As long as it's not massive, it's fine. And we found support at the 100. You got to be extremely bullish BCRX. If anything, what am I going to do? I held. If anything, I'm going to add. If I do anything at all with BCRX, it'll be to add. Tandem had a good day today, up 10%, right?
Yeah, it's not bad. Even aftermarket, it's still moving up.
We called that yesterday or the day before. The days are like one roll.
No, that was yesterday. Yesterday after market, I think it went down to 100. And you thought that was a great support.
Yeah, I told you it was a great support at 100. There it was, right there. And look at that bounce today to 110. 10% in one day. I mean, the charts were screaming buy because everything was at support. Remember, we charted.
Yes,
a bunch of
we're
stuff.
talking about we kind of hit rock bottom. This is it, you know.
Yeah, we charted a bunch of stuff that looked like it was at firm support, including Apple looked like it was at firm support. Not so much Amazon, I don't think, but Apple did, I think. Yesterday's candle, well, maybe not. I don't. The other charts look even better than Apple. Right. But Apple had a beautiful day today after recovering yesterday, forming what looks like a bottom at 150-ish. Yeah, Apple not as clear cut, but Apple, I took the opportunity to buy some today when when everything was on sale temporarily. When the Fed started, after they hiked, there was a tremendous downdraft in all the prices. So I just bought whatever I could grab. So I grabbed a little Apple. I said we'd look at XPEV. No, I think I said we'd look at Lucid. Right?
We could look at Lucid.
Yeah, I think I said we'd look at Lucid. Lucid had a beautiful candle yesterday, turnaround candle, followed by a confirmation candle today. So even not knowing, even without the tremendous move that all stocks had, just looking at this one in a vacuum, this looks very bullish off of these 2 days.
Right.
And we were looking at a trading range probably on Lucid. It's got to take out this candle from last week that made a high at 25.71. So you want 25.71 removed before you start looking at the 200, which is going to be ultimately going to be resistance. The 200 is at $30. So, first we take out this trading range, the upper end of the trading range, and then we're looking at $30. It's probably a very good buy here in the low 20s. What else did I write on my tweet? I tweeted on Stock Twits, I tweeted out a bunch of stuff. Anybody have any requests before I take a look at what I tweeted?
There is messages that I'd like you to erase or block.
Okay, sure. Block user. He's gone. Sava. What's the message on Sava? Ripped today. Let's take a look at that. Sava ripped. Okay. Maybe we'll chart Neo for Tim as well. How many BRK-A do you have?
Is that the Berkshire?
Class A, yeah. That's like, I don't know how much it is for one share, but it's not, I don't own 100 shares, put it that way.
Somebody mentioned like each share is like a house, it's like buying a house.
I think it's more. It's just ridiculous. They never split it.
Yes.
I don't know, but exactly what it is, I don't know.
It's like 500,000.
500,000. All right. Let's take a look at
Neo.
Neo is good to look at. One of my favorite Chinese car plays from the past. I haven't been in these in a while, but it looks like it clearly bottomed today as they all turned it around, and it was up from the low of the day, 1301, to the high of the day, 1535. It was up about 20%, I guess. 25%. It does the math for me. Why should I rack my brains? 25% up today. Nice move for Neo. But it's got a long way to go, as you can see, right? To get back to respectability.
As most stocks, a lot of them has a long way to go.
Yes. It should fill this gap. It should fill this gap. I would, as a betting man, I bet you it fills this gap at 1607. Wait, it filled that already. What am I doing? We're up here. So it filled that gap. So we're looking at resistance at 2055. And I think it'll get to the upper end of the resistance area, probably between 2055 and $24 would be a good place to start taking money off the table if you came in just about today, or if you came in today or yesterday. Somewhere between 24 and somewhere around $24 I would take off the table. Because you got this resistance right in here at about 26. And then, of course, you have the big gap the big gap would take you to, a fill of the big gap would take you to 27.35. So there's a lot of potential in here, if you don't mind being at the whim of the Chinese government, who at any time could say, we were just kidding about what we were just kidding about, and we really mean it. So lots of luck to you if you're playing Chinese stocks. They look attractive now, but you got to be careful with them. So one more.
Can we do Amazon just to check the next resistance, I guess?
Yeah, Amazon. And one more, and we'll call it quits.
So yesterday you were talking about moving beyond the 50-day moving average, and it comfortably did that.
Yeah, it did it today. It broke the 50, which is what we wanted.
Could you remove that? Could you remove that banner?
There's a banner? Okay. Neo. MRVL was Jota. But next time, because we're past our half hour. Okay, so we're right up against resistance on Amazon. This high right here at 30.89. We're really banging into resistance now. We break that, it looks to me like next stop would be 3,200. I'm fairly confident on 3,200, and a retest of this high, which we said was really critical. That's 32.76. It takes that out. New highs ahead. Amazon, only good things for Amazon ahead, in my opinion. I think we've seen the lows down here. Seen the lows. All right, so I think
we'll never get back there again.
We've seen the lows for the market. We've seen the lows for Apple. We've seen the lows for Amazon. Probably seen the lows for Google as well. And we'll call it a day. Dr. J has been very optimistic through the worst of these downturns. So stay with Dr. J. The optimistic old man says new highs by the end of the year.
Time to buy.
Ciao.
Take care.